Tonight we'll be talking about contentment. In Thai called sandot, Pali called santutthi. It's very important subject in Buddhism and also a lot of misconcept, misunderstanding in interpretation of its true meaning. Contentment basically is profound spiritual quality considered an essential foundation for peace and liberation. It's not a passive resignation nor a lack of ambition, but rather an active state of being satisfied with what one has, rather than constantly craving what one lacks. Basically divided into three main topics. Contentment, satisfaction with whatever is one's own. The first one called Yathālābha-santosa, in contentment with what one gets and deserves to get. Like when, suppose you work in a factory, you get this much wages, and you put in that much hours and so on. That's what you got. You should be happy with what you have earned. And then the second is Yathālābha-santosa, contentment with what is within one's strength or capacity. Sometimes you got a award, say from maybe from your parents and so on, and that's what he gave you. So you should be happy with that, okay? not want to get more, and so on. And then the last one, Yathāsāruppa-santosa, contentment with what is befitting. Say, suppose you work at this level, you want to earn, want to get more salary from higher, like maybe the head of the company earnings. It's not possible, so you have make yourself suffer in such condition. So the Buddha said, sandot is contentment is highest wealth. So contentment is the highest wealth from the Dhammapada 204, because in such a way you don't be run into craving all the time. You're just happy with what you got, what you earn, and so on, accordingly. Contentment is mean that a person who is content needs nothing else to be happy. This inner state is more valuable than any material possessions or accomplishment. And basically it's an antidote to craving. Contentment is the direct opposite and remedy for craving. Craving is tanha, which is the second noble truth, which Buddhism identifies as the root of all suffering. Craving for sensual desire, liking and disliking. So that's the second noble truth, cause of suffering that need to be eradicated. Suffering is first noble truth is to be comprehended. So by finding satisfaction in the present, one cuts the cycle of desire, attainment, temporary happiness, and renewed craving. So you don't get into that loop because you're content. So freedom from anxiety. A contented person is not distress by the absence of certain possessions or basic necessities. Basic necessities like food, clothing, lodging, and medicine. So you won't crave for better food, better clothing, and lodging, and so on, because the happiness is not dependent on such things. So this freedom from worry is a significant aspect of peace. It's support for practice. Contentment is an important factor that supports the development of concentration or samadhi, steady mind, because you don't have to be swayed by your craving. And now the practice on the path. So when the mind is free from agitation or of desire, it can settle and focus more easily. So contentment in daily life basically focus on the blameless. The ideal is to be content with what is blameless and easily gained. It doesn't mean forsaking all effort or living in poverty, but rather not letting the pursuit of wealth, fame, and extravagant goods become a source of moral compromise or perpetual dissatisfaction. So, contentment versus effort. Buddhist contentment does not preclude hours of effort or ambition. One can still strive for positive goals, such as improving their wisdom virtues or providing for their family, but the effort is made without clinging to the outcome. So the goal is to act from a place of sufficiency, not from a desperate need or lack. So there's a Buddhist proverb that say, it's not the wealth. So it's not preventing you from gaining more wealth, but you be satisfied with whatever you got, what you earn, and so on. And basically, it's a Buddhist proverb that say, it's not the wealth that preventing you from seeing the truth. It's the attachment to the wealth that prevents you from seeing the truth, because you crave for more, or you can't situate again back to the norm when you lose your wealth and so on, because of your attachment. So cultivating contentment through primary practice are used to cultivate contentment or santutthi. One is mindfulness and acceptance. By practicing mindfulness and living deeply in the present moment, one learns to accept their current circumstances without judgment of good or bad. This acceptance is the first step towards contentment. And the second aspect is gratitude. Actively practice gratitude for what one already has, basic necessities, needs like health, food, and shelter, or train the mind to focus on sufficiency rather than deficiency, like half full instead of half empty. make it less prone to generate new desires. Contentment is seen as an inner attitude, but one can adopt at any time, recognizing that true peace comes from within, rather than regardless of external circumstances. In fact, our previous king, King Ramadhanai, he was a champion of sufficiency and trained his people to be contented, but yet be diligent in upkeeping with what one has and so on. So this is what's called Virya Itipada. If we talk about Itipada, the formula for success, one of them is the Virya, which is effort. The base of effort or energy, exerting effort, is one's spiritual practice. Exerting effort in one's spiritual practice, such as through the cultivation of virtues or the practice of mindfulness. As you may recall, there are 4 of them. In the formula or basis for success or path of accomplishment. So the first one is very important, called will or aspiration. It's wholesome. It's the opposite of craving. In being content, you get rid of craving, which is a negative side, but you don't neglect the will or aspiration, the positive side. Basically, it's the 2 extreme of the same thing. It's the driving force, you know. The negative side is a craving, positive side is a pure aspiration. So to get to your goal, you need to have pure aspiration, not to just sit and do nothing. So you want to be enlightened, but you don't practice meditation, you're getting nowhere. So same thing. But you need to get rid of craving in such practicing meditation. So the second is effort that we talk about, energy. Third is determination, effective thoughts, thoughtfulness into getting to your goal. And fourth is investigation, what went wrong or what went right. Examination, reasoning, testing, why I didn't reach my goal, and so on. What went wrong when things didn't come out the way you want. You need to investigate and maybe try to correct the problem in such a way. Maybe you didn't try hard enough and so on. That's why you didn't get your goal, so on. So this is what is contentment in Buddhism, that people sometimes misinterpret that you should do nothing, shouldn't do anything, because then you'll be against being content. But in fact, you need to have your driving force with your will, aspiration, not to just sit and do nothing, which is incorrect interpretation. Once in the past, the Thai government told the monk not to teach this contentment because then people get lazy. so, so don't keep teaching them that, which is wrong. Contentment doesn't mean that. It just means that you try your best and you're happy with what you have earned and so on. And that's what it meant by contentment in Buddhism. Okay.